Peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Black Storm, what is going on? What is going on your Saturn day? Shout out to everyone who's here on a Saturday afternoon. Even if you catch the replay, I do appreciate your time. Won't be long on this one. Woke up. I wasn't gonna do a full moon or new full moon video. You guys that follow me know I usually do it with the Zodiac Queens, but due to time, different situations, we weren't able to clock it in last Sunday. And I woke up this morning, and the first thing that came to my mind was literally I woke up and Kuan Yin, Kuan Yin, Kuan Yin. This is the deity Kuan Yin. All right. This is a statue actually that I have on one of my altars. And we're going to talk about Kuan Yin a little bit in relation to this full moon. So I decided to do a quick video and, tap into some of this energy, what you can work on. I have some notes here. You guys know I'm not a full fledged astrologer, but I do dibble and dabble in astrology. I'm more of a guide and a philosopher and a critical thinker at best. All right. So without further ado, let's get into the actual presentation. I do have something that I want to share with you guys. So, not long, only about 3 slides, but yeah, let's get into it. So, while this loads up, let me make sure y'all can see what I see. Don't let me add this. All right. So, how's it doing now? Hold on, y'all. All right, perfect. So we see today's date, right? And I looked at the date. I was like, oh yeah, I definitely got to do a video. All right, looking at the numerology. So today is 2/24/2024. Now the full moon has already peaked, so to speak. When it hit my phone, it was like 9:30 a.m. When I got the alert. I got alerts. I got a moon app on my phone, which I suggest you get as well. A moon app, so you know when new moons come in, you know when full moons come in, so we could be in tune with the natural cycles of the earth. This is what allows your magic to manifest much easier than if you go against the natural cycles of the earth. It's like you being in the water, right? On a raft, so to speak. And let's say you're going against whatever the theme of the full moon or the theme of the new moon is, or what the astrological correspondence is. It's like you being in that rowboat, but you rowing right against the current. It's going to be much more difficult. It's going to be much harder. Another example is it's like planting a seed, right, in the winter versus you planting that same seed in the spring. Now, if you plant it in the winter, it may take you to spring, summer for that seed to plant. Versus if you plant that same seed in the spring, right? Usually by summer, maybe a couple weeks in spring, that same seed will sprout. So you want to look at the energy of the particular day, the energy and the theme of the planet, so that the planetary electromagnetic field, which is the aura of that planet or the energy surrounding that planet, could affect our physical electromagnetic field, and we could work in alignment with it, similar to the way that you would work with a deity by giving it offerings. For instance, let's say you're working with a deity like Nipsey. Let's say you're working with Kobe, since he's up here, right? Let's say you're working with Kobe and you want to get some advice on Kobe on how to be more motivated or how to tap into that Mamba mentality, right? Well, obviously, Kobe likes the Lakers. So you would have on a Lakers jersey or put on a Lakers shirt or some Laker memorabilia on an altar for Kobe, right? Kobe likes basketball. So you would put a basketball or a small basketball toy on as a memorabilia, right? Kobe has the number 8, the number 24. So you could do something like put 8 pennies or 24 pennies or the number 8 or the number 24 on that altar. These are the type of things. Kobe had energy drink, right, that he put out. I think it's called Mamba something, right? A body armor energy drink. So you would put that particular drink on the altar, right? All these things are forms of conjure, right? So you could conjure that particular energy, that particular force, if you will, that Kobe resonated with to get that energy. And then you might start having dreams. You might start feeling motivated to do things, right? You may have more discipline in your life. Also, things that are undisciplined or things that are taking you away from being as disciplined as Kobe was may start to fall apart, right? People may leave you, right? People may not be in your circumference. So these are all the ways that when we tap into nature, when we tap into the full moons and the new moons work, right? So I just wanted to get into that. It's the same as working with the deities, working with planetary energy. In fact, each deity has some sort of planet behind it, right? Or some sort of sun, moon, star, planet, right? Which we'll get into. Now, Kobe Bryant, right? 224, 2024. Now, Kobe's number was 24. That he was a Laker. Uh, Also, 2024 adds up to the number 8. Also, Kobe's daughter, Gianna, rest in peace to both of them, wore the number 2, right? So Gianna's number is number 2, 8 and 24 is Kobe. Also, Gianna was born in 2006, which adds up to the number 8. Also, Kobe was born in August, which is also the number 8. So just showing you the significance of today. And Kobe is also a Virgo, and it's the full moon in Virgo, right? So again, this is just showing more of a Kobe. I've been talking about this pretty much all year, how this is a Kobe type of year where you want to work on self improvement, right? And a lot of the instances of 2020 are going to mirror, right, 2024. So this year is about your personal spiritual self development, right? It's about the techniques and tactics that you're using to maximize your spiritual power and maximize your spiritual growth. Now, this is not saying that this is going to be easy, right? There's a story of Kobe, right, going through the USA, all right, in the USA Olympics, right, with his own version of a dream team. LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Gilbert Arenas, some other people are on this Olympic team, right? Carmelo Anthony, etc., Michael Reds, etc., right? All stars of the day. And, there's a story of Kobe waking up early, going to the gym to practice. And the other members of the dream team was like chilling. They're in bed, right? But at first they were getting their ass kicked. They getting beat by some teams that were inferior. So they saw Kobe being the leader, going and playing, right, and practicing early, and him starting to put work in and bust ass, right? So eventually they started and going training early with him, and then they started to get better results. So it's also having a mama mentality about being a leader, right? Being able to strike, right? Being able to be in uh constantly not only looking for opportunities but constantly creating opportunities. And this is what magic is ultimately about. uh Manipulating and guiding intention caused knowingly, right? Magic, Magic, manipulating and guiding your intention caused knowingly. How do you do that? With your thoughts and your emotions, right? But you also have to take action as well. And this is the part that I notice when you talk to a lot of spiritual metaphysical people, right? They just want the shit to come out of nowhere. They just want the shit to bibbity boppity boop, and then poof, something comes and you don't have to do any work. Well, I would dare to say, even the people that are selling you, let's use, right, money magic, for example, right? And the people that are telling you about money rituals and the people that are selling you these money things, right? You have to ask yourself, are they rich, right? Are they wealthy themselves? Are they able to sustain themselves? Is when they're on their stream yard, do you see the duck in the corner, right? Are they able to pay their bills? Things like that. Do we hear about child support? All these type of things that you should check on and see if this person is, because a person could be a great speaker, doesn't mean that the person is of great character, right? It just means that they're a great speaker. So coming into spiritual alignment, you have to work and develop yourself to become a god here on earth. It's not something that's given to you just because you have melanin in your body. It's not something that's given to you because you come from a certain family. It's not something that's given to you because you read a lot of books. It's not something that comes to you because you have a lot of an altar and you have a lot of crystals. This is something that there is a daily habits, right? Whether you win, whether you lose, so to speak, whether you have ups, whether you have downs, that you're constantly putting in effect. When you look at the number 8, which is one of Kobe's numbers, right? The number 8 is the same on top and it's the same on the bottom, right? It deals with balance, right? You could say it's two zeros put together. It's a build and destroy. It's a as above, so below, right? And this is about nurturing the energy that you have in you. So we're in this energy, right, of this um this full moon in Virgo, but the sun is actually in Pisces, right? So this leads to the next slide, right? So with the sun in Pisces, right? This is the actual opposite sign of Virgo. And you can see this here, right? If you look to the right on both of these particular pictures, let me make sure y'all can see what I'm saying. Okay. If you look to the right in these particular pictures, you'll see that give me 1 second. Let's want to see something. All right. Y'all can't see that. All right. So if you look in these particular pictures, you'll see that Pisces, which is the sun is in Pisces, and you see Virgo, right? But the 12th house you see is exactly opposite Virgo, which is in the 6th house. So if you look at them, right, you see the 12th house and you see the 6th house, you can see they're directly opposite each other, right? This is what they call the healer's axis, okay? The healer's axis in astrology. And even if you look at the ruling planets, right, which I thought was interesting, you look, you see the ruling planet of Pisces is Neptune. Now you see the cross at the bottom. It looks like a phallic symbol or a masculine symbol. And then you see the two looks like horns, right? Which would be this would be what do they call it? The trident, right? And you see this trident on the top. Well, if you look at the ruling planet Mercury, right, you see the feminine symbol, but you also see this trident looking two horns on the top, right? So they kind of look the same, right? If you look at them just off the sigil or the symbol, okay? So Pisces is symbolizes the two fish, right? Virgo symbolizing the maiden. So Pisces is the water element, right? Mutable sign. Keyword is intuition. Virgo is also a mutable sign, right? Keyword is analyze. All right. So Virgo is dealing with the physical realm, right? The full moon of Virgo. So we're dealing with the physical realm. If you look at another image of Virgo, it's her holding a piece of wheat, right? So that was dealing with Virgo, the time that it comes into place, August and September. This is a time when you harvest, right? If you were on the farmland, this is what times you harvest your wheat, you harvest your corn, right? You harvest your storehouse for the winter because you can't plant, things don't grow in the winter, right? So you have to have a storehouse of food or else you're going to starve, right? And there was no quote unquote refrigerators at one point in time, no deep freezers. So you had to make sure that you had enough grain so you could survive the winters depending on where you lived, right? Or enough grain so you could survive the cold months, right? Depending on where you lived. So Saturn, right, also deals with, which is what this year is under an 8 year 2024, right? Kobe again, Saturn is under cycles, right? So nature is a cycle, right? For instance, we had three solar flares recently, three solar flares the last couple of days, right? Three X flares at that. And these solar flares, right, So if you wherever you live, I guarantee you it's at least 5 to 10 degrees warmer than it normally is because there's extra energy, extra electromagnetic energy on the planet, right? So you have the ability to source this energy and use it for what thou wilt. So it's the same as being under the energy of the new moon or full moon. And not to mention, a full moon actually pulls water from the body, just like it pulls water from the earth. It raises the tide. So it pulls water from the body. So your emotions are key during this time. What you're feeling is key during this time. This is why indigenous people did rituals. This is why they were dancing. This is why they were singing. This is why they were chanting. This is why they would put on masks, right? To represent whatever deity or energy they were trying to channel, because they understood that with this water or this vapor leaving the body during this time in dance, in chanting, in ritual, through lighting candles, etc., right? Even when you're dealing with sacrifice or sharing meals and things like that, right? They understood that this energy is now carried out into the universe based on the moon pulling that water, which is the earth is made up of 70+% water. The human body is made up of 70+% water, pulling that water from the body into the actual universe, into the clouds, and the clouds going everywhere, etc., right? Rain, right? Raining down your intentions onto everything, right? As the clouds move throughout the earth. So manifestation, right, is key. And the key to manifestation is to be part with, or not part, but to be one with nature or one with natural forces. Even if you work with any type of deity, right? Again, there's natural forces. There's some type of offering that has to do with something natural that you give it, as far as a sacrifice or offering. So Virgo again dealing with the physical, right? Is dealing with the mothering energy, right? Nurturing energy. It says Virgo people tend to be conscious of details. They are drawn to be of service to others and are concerned with health and well-being. They are likely to be neat and orderly, at least in some area of their life, although they may exhibit the opposite tendency in cases where they have not yet found their guiding principle of organization, right? So the two queens that I usually do these videos with, right? They're two of the most orderly, most on time, most, you know, uh detailed women that I know, right? And that's a Virgo nature, a divine feminine actualized as a Virgo, right? Mel and Monique Ruffin, right? They're both very detailed, very organized, right? Even when you go and get the services from them, right? You could tell there's a lot of work put into what they are doing and a lot of work put into their study. So it's that type of energy that goes along with planting something, planting a seed, right? Or putting an intention down, right? And this is about being practical. When you're dealing with a mothering energy, right? That baby has to be fed, right? The child has to be fed and taken care of. The child is sick, they have to go to the doctor, right? If there's no money, they have to make a way, right? They have to make a way. Sometimes, your mom may have had $5 and she got some potatoes and, some potatoes and, some meat, right? $2, $3 pack of meat and made it work. And you had dinner that night. Might have had to stretch it 2, 3 nights, right? Get some bread and some peanut butter and jelly, and that might be dinner, depending on what type of lifestyle that you've had, right? Growing up, some of us have grown up in poverty, right? So these are things that your mama had to do there's no excuses. The mom has to make a way, right? If you have a good mother, of course, right? They make a way out of no way, So it's that type of Virgo energy, right? And this is the energy again, going back to Kobe that he had, right? He's not going to let you make him what you want him to be, right? He started off his first season in the NBA on the bench, right? And eventually he got off that bench towards the end of the first season because of the work he was putting in. And it's the same thing with your spirituality. It's the same thing with your spiritual studies. It's the same thing with your meditations. It's the same thing with your spiritual baths. It's the same thing with how you speak, your heka, your self-talk, how you talk about other people, right? This is all nurturing energy. All go back to the divine feminine within you, which corresponds to that Pisces energy, which is the water in you. See, who you truly are will eventually come out on the earth. You'll eventually see it. Like I was watching the video recently and I'm looking at like these two conscious people. I'm not going to say their names, but these two conscious people are beefing. You know what I'm saying? Two big people in the quote unquote conscious community, they're beefing at each other, throwing shots at each other. You know, how is that helping, healing, or nurturing, or showing people their true divine nature, right? It's not, you know, but this is how you are able to see who's who and who's not who. If you want to beef with me, no matter what happens, I don't ignore you straight up. I'm not going to be going back and forth with you on the YouTube streets, no matter how many views it gets. That's just not what I'm here to do, right? My real mission is to become the best version of myself and the most high version of myself and a vessel of the divine being. That's why I'm here. That's my mission. And whatever it takes to get to that, I am willing to do that, right? So the Pisces energy is that emotional, right? This is the chakra healing work. This is the inner work. This is why you have to engage in some form of meditation. You have to engage in some sort of inner work. You cannot rely on speakers. You cannot rely on preachers. You cannot rely on teachers. You cannot rely on books, right? To give you an example, I'm no better than anybody. I'm just giving you examples from my real life, like I always do. Before I go to bed, 99% of the well, not 90, let's say 85% of the time, I'm usually meditating, right? I usually meditate, then I fall asleep after meditation, right? And then I wake up, and then there's downloads, then there's information, then there's ideas, then there's, yo, you got to change this. Yo, you got to adjust this. Yo, you gotta look at this. Like today, I wasn't gonna do a video. Spirit's like, nah, you're gonna do a video, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Spirit's like, yo, Kuan Yin, look into Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin wants to talk to you. I'm like, all right, let me tap in, right? Tapped in a little bit more about it, which we'll get into soon. And that was the situation. So I wouldn't get into a lot of people have knowledge, right? It's easy to read things, learn things, and then recite it and regurgitate it, right? If you have a great memory, right? And you have, especially if you have a photographic memory, which again, a lot of people have photographic memories out here, and they have a photographic memory. Like I remember meeting somebody when I was playing chess in New York City, and I would give this brother, and I've said this before, I would give this brother books, and he would just come back the next day, like give me back the book the next day and just be reciting all type of stuff. I'm like, so one day I asked him, I'm like, yo, how do you know all this stuff, right? How did you get all this stuff this quick? And he said, look, don't tell nobody. I've been doing this for years. He said, I got a photographic memory. So if I see something on a page, I can retain it. And I was like, oh, okay, I understand now. So a lot of these people that I see online that people are enamored with, yes, I take their information. Yes, I understand their intellectual prowess, but I look at their character. I look at how they. This is now the Pisces energy, the waters within, right? This is the sun in Pisces, right? Your inner waters, which the sun is under now, right? Which will come out in Virgo, right? How do you talk about people? How do you treat people? How do you talk about the opposite sex? These are very important. How you talk about other people, how do you treat people, how do you talk about the opposite sex, and four, how do you conduct business? All right. How do you conduct business? Do people get what they deserve? Are you selling people false products? Are you selling people things that don't work? Are you, if somebody orders something from you, do they get it? Right? All that intellectual, smart shit, There's books everywhere. I can read it and I can learn it, and I'm grateful I have YouTube to see it. But the Virgo is what I look at when I look at people, how they actually act, the from their Pisces, their inner waters, their inner selves, right? That'll show me their real work, right? Not how articulate they are. So the chakra healing is your inner work. This is your shadow work, right? And again, this is a time of balance. This is why I have them both up, because the sun being in Pisces and the full moon being in Virgo, they essentially go together. If you look at the symbolism, one is feminine, the feminine energy of it, and one is the masculine or the internal energy of the divine feminine, and one is the external energy of the divine feminine. Both divine feminine energies, but one is just physical, one is so-called mental or internal, right? So so Virgo is basically the earth. It's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the sign of communication, right? And Pisces is water, again ruled by the Neptune or the moon, which is what the sun is in. All right. So Virgo is the physical evidence of your imagination's spiritual form. So Virgo is the physical evidence of your imagination's spiritual form. So this is what I was just talking about, right? Your spirituality will be shown by what you can manifest here on earth, by how protected you are here on earth. This doesn't mean that you're better or worse than anybody if you're going through a hard time. It doesn't mean that if you're going through a hard time, you're cursed, you're hexed, it's the demon, it's a devil. No, it doesn't mean that at all. In fact, whenever you go through any type of hardship, it's actually designed to raise your spiritual power. What you want to look at is, what is your means of nurturing yourself? How do you cope with the situation? What are your coping mechanisms? Are you relying on spirit? Are you relying on the divine, right? Are you tapping back into nature, right? Are you tapping in with your ancestors, right? Are you at your altar more communicating? Are you meditating a little more, maybe instead of once a day, twice a day, right? Instead of maybe reading something once, are you reading a little more, right? What are you doing? Maybe you listen to certain type of music, maybe you're going through this struggle. You got to listen to binaural beats more or isochronic tones more, right? Maybe you got to tap into it, take a additional spiritual bath, right? Maybe you need to talk to people that make you laugh more. Maybe you need to watch Martin, Jamie Foxx show, or like my new thing has been Sanford and Son, right? Tap into things that put you in a heightened frequency because you're going through the struggle. And this is what people like myself and others should be teaching you and should be telling you, right? Not that you're being hexed. That's what the scammers do. And they send it into your inbox. Oh, I heard you need a reading. And say, oh, you hit them back. Yes, you want a free reading? Yeah, they give you a free reading. They say, oh, you've got hexes on you and demons about you. And we all got some shit that we're going through, right? So you like, oh, buy in. And yeah, go do this ritual for $12,000. Right? I got you. I'm going to cleanse you. You know, well, you could cleanse yourself, right? You could tap in and learn who you truly are. One of the best things you could do, just to give you some insight, is you could do something called a walnut bath, right? And this is also good for soul ties, right? You get some grounded walnuts. You go to this from Botanica, right? And you get a walnut bath and you dip your ass in there, right? A couple of days, and you'll start to feel lighter, right? You also, number two, I'm giving you things that I've done, not things that are from the books. I've learned it from books, but I've actually tried it, experimented. You get a black candle, right? Put a little bit of sage on top of it, right? That black candle, right? Carve in it on the top of it, whatever issue you're trying to get rid of or what you're trying to cord cut or whatever, and let that shit burn. right? But you want to do that in your room, wherever you sleep. And eventually you'll get lighter and lighter over time, right? And of course, you want to separate yourself from that person, place, thing, or environment that is causing you that type of stress. But this is part of, again, you tapping into that Pisces energy and you doing the work of Virgo, that earthly work, right? That mothering energy, you planting the seed, you having an idea, okay, like what they say, standing on business, right? In order to stand on business, you have to have a business plan. Right? You have to have an idea of what your business is. What are you trying to transmute? What are you trying to grow from? What are you trying to learn from? Right? You have to have a business plan in order to stand on business. A lot of people stand on business, but they ain't got no business plan. And your business plan is your purpose. This is your Virgo. This is your work. This is the seeds that you're planting. This is your garden, right? Or your guarding, right? Your garden or your guiding that you are doing here on earth to show and prove who the fuck you truly are, right? If you are emotionally, this is going back to the sun of Pisces, because this is an emotional time as well. If you're emotionally aggravated by, the male female gender war, right? You have to stop looking at the shade room. You got to stop looking at some of the gossip blogs. You're going to have to separate yourself from those things, right? Because those things are going to constantly come at you. You're going to have to unfollow some of your friends. You're going to have to unfollow some of your families. You're going to have to unfollow some of the things that entertain you. You might not be able to watch Love and Hip Hop every single week. You might not be able to watch the baddies every week if these things trigger you. Now, if you're above, you're looking at it from a Heru, right? Bird's eye view, and you're looking at these things as, oh, this is just entertainment, then it may not affect you as much. And if you're doing a lot of spiritual work, see, the problem is people want to do these things and watch these things and engage in these things every single week, but they're not doing no spiritual work. Then they want to say it's only entertainment. Well, how could it be entertainment when this is how you're nurturing yourself, right? This is how the seeds that you're planting, right? This is that energy of practicality, being practical with spiritual energy. And a lot of people are not practical when it comes to spiritual work. It's all woo woo out there, conspiracy, what the government's doing, right? But what are you doing to learn, to grow, and develop into your God self? So that is, so this deals with your daily routine. All right. This deals with your patterns. All right. What are your patterns in life? This deals with your daily habits. All right. I always say the first thing in the morning is the most powerful time of your day. What are you listening to? Do you have something you read first thing in the morning to inspire you? Right. Do you have, for instance, I've been in the morning, I've been reading. Let me see if y'all can see this. This is Robert Greene, The Daily Laws, right? Also, if I'm in a super spiritual mood and got extra time, I'm reading this by Round Up for a Man. No, it's not popping up, but it's called Light of Kundalini Yoga, right? By Round Up for a Man. So tapping into different, this is part of the work, right? This is part of the work, right? Your daily habits, right? Your meals. What type of things are you eating? What type of things are you taking in? This is one of the things spiritual people don't want to tackle. They don't want to talk about this shit, right? This is like almost a taboo. Like, don't take away my motherfucking Popeyes and my Burger King and my Taco Bell. Don't take that out of my life. Well, how magical do you really want to be out here? Do you always want to have to use an altar? Do you always want to have to use tools to be magical? What if those things aren't available and you're in a situation where you can't tap into a tarot card, where you can't tap into a crystal, where you don't have a sigil or a pen that you could draw a sigil or anything like that? Are you doing enough work so that your electromagnetic field, aka your aura, right, is putting out enough energy emitting enough positive energy, raising your frequency high enough. This is that Pisces energy, your inner waters, you're channeling enough energy and it resonates high enough so that you are able to manifest things strictly off the power of the mind. Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. No matter what happens, if you think, right, let's say the mind, the brain doesn't understand quote unquote truth, right? The brain understands your truth. What the brain doesn't understand truth. The brain understands your truth. What do I mean by that? So let's say you go to the doctor, right? And the doctor tells you you have, oh, you got a rare disease and you got 6 months to live, right? Now, if you think and you believe that the doctor in heart, right, in your mind, you keep referring, damn, I only got 6 months to live. Damn, I only got 6 months to live. And you start to feel that way, right? Thoughts, emotions. Damn, I only got 6 months to live. Damn. And then you start to act like that, right? You start to tell other people, you know, you start to move like that's the case, right? You start to, you know, um, just, you're getting rid of your house and you're getting rid of your car and you're getting rid of all these things because this is how you feel. Then you only going to have 6 months or less to live. But if you think, and there's tons of studies that show where doctors have diagnosed people, there's a book I recommend everybody read at least once called Anatomy of an Illness, right? Where it showed this guy had a rare disease and was given exactly what I'm saying, 6 months to live, and laughed his way into health and wellness, and then wrote the book Anatomy of an Illness and laughed his way to the bank, right? So, but the body, right? You start thinking negative, your body produces cortisol. Cortisol starts going into the body, right? This is your Pisces, right? Your waters, right? So that cortisol now it puts you in a fight or flight mode. It puts you in a tense mode, right? Your body starts to get tense because you're in fight or flight. Your body's producing cortisol. So now, when you are into everything, everything is negative. Everything around you is negative. Everything you think, everything you talk about is negative, right? So this affects your electromagnetic field or your aura. You're attracting power. You're going to attract things that are negative, things that are not beneficial to you, things that confirm what you think. Like I put the short up the other day where it's like the woman was saying, let's say you're in the market and you're looking for a red truck, right? And you start to look for red trucks. Eventually, when you start to go out in the street, you're going to see more red trucks, right? Where you wasn't noticing red trucks before. That's because your focus has shifted, right? You're looking for a red truck to buy. So now every time you look, you see red trucks because your focus is shifted to that. That's the way your brain works, right? That's the way what they have called your reticular activating system works. So instead of thinking, going back to the 6 months to die, you thinking, no, I got 6 months to be better. I got 6 months to get myself right. I got 6 months to heal. I got 6 months to study and discover how I can heal myself. I got 6 months to figure out the best way to attack this issue. And once you start thinking like that, now, just like the red truck, the universe starts showing you, oh, this is how you could heal. Oh, start taking this drink, start taking this fruit, start taking this herb, start going out in the sun more, start going out in nature, start enjoying your life, start watching more Martin, right? Put yourself in the frequency of healing, of health, and abundance. Get rid of those old friends, get some new friends, right? Now, this is the Virgo energy, but this starts from within. This starts from within and it affects your biochemistry, and your biochemistry now affects your electromagnetic field. The electromagnetic field affects your environment. Your environment now attracts what you have conjured. This is magic in a sense. Well, not in a sense, this is magic, right? This is your intention that you cause knowingly. But the problem is a lot of people intention, they don't realize that they're causing problems in their own life. Like I was talking to this girl, right? Super negative all the time, negative, cynical. Everything's bad, everything's gonna be bad, all the time, negative, right? And I was talking to her like last year, and like she just goes through the most crazy things. Like she was like, like even when I was there, like chilling with her, like she would go through the most craziest events would happen back to back to back, and to the point where I even told her I've never seen these type of things happen, right? But she was always negative. Then she told me the other day her house caught on fire, her apartment caught on fire, right? And she got kids. You know what I'm saying? She got kids and her apartment caught on fire. So imagine just the psychological damage of always going through something with a parent that's constantly negative, right? So that has no spiritual culture, that's not even thinking like that, right? So this is the importance, especially during this time of 8 year, where we want to really nurture our inner world. So again, that Virgo energy, right, could show and prove itself in the real world. The seeds we plant can really show fruit. So our conversations are important, right? The people we are around are important, right? What we do with our spare time, right? What do you do when you come home from work? What do you do in the mornings before work? What do you do during your lunch hour, right? These are times. What are you thinking during your daydreams, right? These are things that you have to nurture, right? These are things that take work. Full moon and Virgo. Virgo is I work on what I care about, right? The key word to Virgo, though, is I work. Virgo is I work, right? And Pisces is I care, right? So that's why I have the affirmation I work on what I care about. So, what do you really care about? Do you care about the latest conscious gossip, the latest hip hop gossip, the latest street wars, right? Are you still watching the news first thing in the morning, right? Which is giving you all lasting at night, right? Thinking you're getting awareness. When has the news ever made you aware of anything? Did they tell you that Corona was coming? Did they tell you that 9/11 was coming? Did they tell you that the stock market crash was coming? No, they didn't, right? The news never has made you aware of anything. If and only thing it's ever done is pump fear into you. The only thing the news is good for is the weather. And even then, the weather's not accurate, because I can tell what the weather's going to be looking at space weather more than I can from the weather that I get on my phone and the computer. Today it was supposed to be 33 degrees. Right now it's 49 degrees. And the reason I know that because I'm like, we had all these solar flares, so it's going to be warmer than what the weatherman told me. This is part of you doing the work and your focus on the red car. What will come into your environment is going to be based on your perception and what you are looking for, but that perception has to be nurtured. And that perception, nurturing those inner waters, right? Even if you look at Pisces, right? The sign of Pisces, the symbol, right? It looks like two eyes, right? Two eyes going two different directions, right? It looks like two eyes, right? So your the what do you do during your spare time, right? And what elevates you and what's holding you back. These are the things you want to look at during this full moon in Virgo, right? Write these things down, right? Write these things down. Virgo is research and analysis, all right? Facts and evidence. This is not talking out your ass. This is not me telling you Planet Risk is going to come and Planet Nibiru is going to come and save you, or the Anunnaki is going to come down and save you. No, this is doing proper research, and practical analysis, meaning before reparations come, before the Anunnaki come, before the aliens come, before Nibiru comes, before Planet Risk comes, what am I going to do to make sure that myself and my family are healthy, wealthy, and wise? That is the focus, people. Not on saving the black race, not on saving Israel or Palestine, not on saving the Congo, not on saving the people in Haiti, not on saving the Amazon rainforest, right? Some people have so many focuses outside of themselves that they wonder why. And I was there. So I can't say they like I wasn't there, right? I've been there. I've been there, just like y'all, looking at every conspiracy, looking at every part of the world, wondering how I can fix it, wondering how I can contribute to it. Then I realized, oh shit, I'm wearing socks made in China, sweatshops. I like Nikes. They're made by children in sweatshops. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at these things that I own. And I'm like, oh, I got a fucking smartphone. I got a laptop. I got a couple of tablets. With who? Where's the cobalt and the coltan coming from? The Congo. From my smartphone, where are the chips coming from? The coltan, cobalt in the Congo mines. People was freaking out when the cell towers was done, right? It was all manners of machinations, even though I showed you in my last live that shit happens all the time. And in fact, the reason why I would solely don't believe it was the solar flares that caused the cell phone disruption is because we had the strongest solar flare last month in 7 years. Why wasn't the cell phones down then? Right? Why other times when we have 2 or 3 solar flares that there's no cell phone issues? And this is the first time in God knows how long. So I don't buy that. You know what I'm saying? And that's me being a critical thinker, right? I've always been a critical thinker. I can't teach. I don't think I can teach anybody how to be that. But I can teach you how to do your own research. And doing your own research is this. You want to look at least 2 or 3 things and see at least if those 2 or 3 things align. This is Virgo, right? Virgo is research, practical analysis, right? If look at least 2 to 3 sources. Don't just get your source off Instagram. Don't just get your source off X. Don't Twitter. Don't go get your source off Facebook and run with it, right? Make sure it makes sense. Make sure you research it so that if you had to regurgitate it to a child, if you have to tell it to someone else and explain it, you don't have to be the dumbass that's saying do your own research because you didn't do your own research. That shit annoys me when I talk to people and they say some crazy shit and I'm like, or they'll regurgitate some crazy shit that I know they heard from somebody on the internet and I question it and they tell me, oh, do your own research. Nah, you do your own research. Like you should be able to, if this is what you believe and this is what you're telling me, you should be able to understand for yourself. This is not Christianity, this life. And some people again need to go back to church because they don't want to think for themselves. This is Virgo energy, practical research and analysis. You have to think for yourself on this path, right? So Pisces is with the sun is in Pisces. This is intuition, right? And dreams, right? And the best way to tap into your intuition is meditation. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know how else to tell you. I know you guys want to do something else. I know you guys want the easy way, microwave way, the 2024 way, to think all you got to do is read books and watch YouTube videos and, put up an altar and that's enough. You got to change. Everything starts from the inside out. Change starts from the inside out. Even you, my nigga and nigga, started from the inside out. Started from your daddy's nutsack to your mama's egg to your mama's womb. You started from the inside out. So you have to heal yourself. And you could do visualization, You could do your visualization. You could do your breath work, your fire breathing, your Dumo breathing. You could engage in some sort of yoga, right? You can engage in runner's high, things like that, right? But it has to start from within. You can dance yourself into trance, right? But it has to start from within. This is what the people that run the world understand. By putting you into some meditative trance when you're watching a movie, right? When you're watching a show on YouTube, when you're watching something on TV and you're stuck, just like a child, you see a child watching something and you call their name, hey, John, hey, Jill, and they're stuck in a trance watching something, right? And that could happen to you. You're stuck watching something. You don't even hear that somebody's calling you, right? You're in a trance. This is how they get you. This is how the Super Bowl commercials work, by getting you to laugh, by getting you stuck watching the Super Bowl commercials, right? That's how the celebrities get you, right? By watching them, by focusing on them to put you in a trance. It's the same thing. Now, they use signs and symbols to attack your inner world, but the hack is to hack into your own inner world through meditation and slowing down the breath. The word spirit means breath. That's the etymology of the word spirit. I know it's not what you want to hear. I know that's not a popular thing, right? I understand these people told you all you got to do is, have a statue on your altar and, put candles on, and that's all you need to do. And it'll get you to a certain state. Don't get me wrong. That stuff helps, right? These are all tools to help you get to where you are. But the ultimate God is you. The ultimate God is within. So this is the again, that Pisces energy. And don't just believe me, right? Listen to the God. Listen to the God tell you this as well. Hold up, y'all. Don't just believe me, because what do I know, right? What do I know? I'm just a dude on YouTube. Let's listen to the good Reverend Ike.
Appearing as me. This is true of everyone. I teach this to everyone. You are God appearing as you. And in the one God, every man is God of his own experience. I'm not anybody else's God, and nobody else is your God. But in the one God, which is really consciousness or self-awareness, every man is God of his own experience. But you see, this is another thing. People do not like to accept self-responsibility. People like to have a convenient devil that they can blame when they are lazy and don't do what they could do for themselves. People like to have a devil that they can blame when they don't live up to the best that they could live up to. And when they do things that they shouldn't do, so that they can say, as Flip Wilson says, the devil made me do it. And it is said also that the devil was seen sitting outside of the church crying his heart out one day, down on the curbstone, and just weeping and wailing. And so finally somebody went out and said, devil, why are you crying like that? He said, those people in that church, he said, everything that goes wrong, they put it on me. And it only goes to show you that human nature says that, well, I got to have a scapegoat. But in this philosophy, there is no scapegoat. If you're not being, doing, and having the good you desire, it's not the white folks or the black folks. It's not the system. It's you. I am God appearing as me. This is true of everyone. I teach this to everyone. You are God appearing as you. And in the one God, every man is God of his own experience. I'm not anybody else's God, and nobody else is your God. But in the one God, which is really consciousness or self-awareness, every man is God of his own experience. But you see, this is another thing. People do not like to accept self-responsibility. People like to have a convenient devil that they can blame when they are lazy and don't do what they could do for themselves. People like to have a devil that they can blame when they don't live up to the best that they could live up to. And when they do things that they shouldn't do, so that they can say, as Flip Wilson says, the devil made me do it. And it is said also that the devil was seen sitting outside of the church crying his heart out one day, down on the curbstone, and just weeping and wailing. And so finally somebody went out and said, devil, why are you crying like that? He said, those people in that church, he said, everything that goes wrong, they put it on me. And it only goes to show you that human nature says that, well, I got to have a scapegoat. But in this philosophy, there is no scapegoat. If you're not being, doing, and having the good you desire, it's not the white folks or the black folks. It's not the system.
Oh, that is the great, that is the great Reverend Knight, right? Explaining who you are and what you are and the importance of that. So let's get into some of the deities that we could work with to understand who and what we truly are, and you could tap in and use these signs and symbols to be led to get a different type of intuition, right? And things of that nature, right? Signs and symbols are very important, and it is a way to bypass the conscious mind and to see, quote unquote, beyond the veil. And using these symbols are things that have resonated with others for thousands of years. So this is why they are so powerful. So pull this up, make sure y'all can see. All right, let's do this. Not that, this. All right. So the first deity on the left is the deity that I showed y'all earlier to start this, Kuan Yin. All right. So Kuan Yin is basically a goddess of compassion, right? A book you want to get to understand more about Kuan Yin is Kuan Yin has different spellings, but in the book Encyclopedia of Spirits, Encyclopedia of Spirits. Oh damn, y'all can't see it with the green screen. But just type in Encyclopedia of Spirits by what's her name? Isles. Judica Isles, Encyclopedia of Spirits, right? And you can learn more about the deity Kuan Yin. And Kuan Yin is basically a mothering energy or motherly type of energy, right? But she is specifically the goddess of compassion. And in this particular picture, you'll see, well, let me do this so, well, you can see it. You can see she's actually sitting on a turtle. And America was once called Turtle Island. That's one thing, but also there's a lot of ancient symbolism showing the earth as an actual turtle, the whole earth, not just America, right? Even though America was once called Turtle Island. So in her arm, you can see she has a cup, right? Another deity or symbol you see has a cup is Aquarius, right? Aquarius pouring water out of the cup, right? So this is basically a representation of the compassion coming from Kuan Yin's heart, or the compassion of a mother, right? This is about you caring, right, for yourself, caring about learning the truth about yourself, caring about discovering the divinity in you, caring about discovering your purpose, right? These are things that putting Kuan Yin on your altar will help you develop and grow. Now, Kuan Yin is the type of deity that you don't need her statue. You don't need even to have, anything really. She's the type of deity that if you call out to Kuan Yin for help, Kuan Yin will help you, right? Kuan Yin is a deity that is in Taoism, Buddhism, Shintoism, right? All the Far East, China, Japan, they all have statues and symbolisms of Kuan Yin. She's a highly revered deity. She's similar to Mary, right? Which would be Mary and Jesus fame, right? Mother of Christ, right? Similar energy, but she has her own function as being the goddess of compassion and the goddess of mercy, right? If you're going through things in life, don't beat yourself up. If you're having hardship, don't beat yourself up. If you're not where you want to be spiritually, mentally, financially, emotionally, don't beat yourself up. We all are on a journey, even me, even the niggas on YouTube, even the motherfuckers with head wraps, even the motherfuckers wearing crowns, even the motherfuckers with dashikis, even the motherfuckers with a billion crystals on, right? So forth and so on. Everybody with the nice clothing and the great backgrounds and all that, right? Everybody is on a journey. Everybody's trying to better themselves if they're sincere, right? A lot of people are not sincere, right? But if they're sincere, they're trying to better themselves, right? And have compassion for yourself and have compassion for others too. People who do you wrong, people who may have done you dirty, and realize that they're going through something. And the same mercy and compassion you want shown to yourself, because you have been you're somebody's op, you're somebody's enemy. Everybody has done somebody wrong in some way, shape, form, or fashion, right? I don't I don't buy the whole, oh, I'm just a perfect person. I've never done anything wrong to anybody. That doesn't work, right? Everybody's done something to somebody, right? Everybody's hurt somebody some way, shape, form, or fashion. And you want mercy to be shown to you, right? And that mercy you want shown to you, make sure that you also, especially your children, right? Kuan Yin is also a mother, right? So be patient with your children. Have compassion for your children. Realize they don't know as much as you. Realize their frontal lobe doesn't develop fully until they're 25, 26, right? So they're still learning how to reason. They're still learning how to make wise decisions, right? More importantly, they're making decisions based on the animal within them, right? They're still heavily rooted because they've just come from a pure realm into the human realm of the animal, where most people act like animals, right? And they're trying to figure it out. And their frontal lobe has not fully developed because they don't have enough wisdom through experience to know what they should be doing. So we want to be patient with our children as well. The next deity you can have up is Yamaya. All right. See if y'all can see that. Yamaya. All right. Yamaya is the deity, the water deity. All right. And again, the sun is in Pisces, but it's also an aspect of the divine feminine. And water, again, you're mostly made of 75% water. So most of what you are is water. And being that it's a full moon, right? And it's a full moon in Virgo, the virgin energy, right? Pure energy, purity, right? It's important to tap into this energy just so you could tap into what's within you, right? What is your purpose, right? What are you giving birth to? Whether it's a business, whether you want a new career, whether you're trying to ascend in your career, whether you're trying to find a husband, find a wife, find a mate, right? What type of qualities do you have? It's not about somebody else. What type of qualities are within you? Because the water is within. I can't see the water within you. You can't see the water within me, right? So, and we know the earth is mostly made of water, but we have to go to beaches and lakes and rivers to see the water. It's not right there where everybody can see. So, the water within you is what you want to nurture, what type of wave, right? We call it a vibe. What type of vibe are you really on? Are you manipulative, right? Are you cunning? Are you scheming? Do you lie to yourself, right? Do you need to develop your confidence, right? These are things that Mama Yemaya will help you with because, again, it's that mothering, nurturing energy. These are all three the same people, just from different vantage points. So, Yemaya is a Yoruba goddess, right? And the Kemetic or Egyptian goddess Osset, right? As it says, is the embodiment of these intuitive and instinctive faculties that lay deep within our psyche, governing our ability to care for and nurture others. People in who this faculty is strongly developed are very protective, caring, and nurturing. These qualities amongst the Cometians and other Africans were most desirable in mothers and wives. Now, when we talk about caring and nurturing others, first and foremost, before you care and nurture for someone else, you have to care and nurture yourself. You have to care, and you can't care for someone and not care for yourself. You can't love other people and not love yourself. You can't want love from other people and not love yourself. This is where narcissism starts to occur because you want all this love from other people, but you're not pouring that love into yourself. So you don't know what it looks like. You don't know what it really is. I posted this on Facebook the other day. Most people think that having someone who is a good lover, who is attractive, and who's financially stable is their soulmate, right? Those three things. If you look on the internet, that's what the majority of people are looking for. Someone who's physically attractive, someone who has a lot of money, right? And someone who is, well, I said physically attractive, um, the finances are straight, right? And should I just said the third thing? Anyway, go back and rewind what I said. But those three things, right? And that's what they're looking for, right? Oh, sexual, right? Sexual prowess. They make good love. The sex is good in bed, right? And they think this is the soulmate. That's it. But what about their character, right? What about if you're sick, will they be there for you? Right? If you go through a life crisis, will they be there for you? This is the waters. This is a Kuan Yin, compassion, mercy, empathy, being able to put yourself in someone's shoes. Yemaya, right? The flow state. Are you guys flowing together? Do you guys see eye to eye? Are you going in one direction and they're going in another direction, right? Do you guys think alike? Are you guys like troubled waters, always clashing, always arguing because you guys aren't on the same page, but you look good, the sex is great, and the money's right, right? But you guys don't agree on anything. But you look good taking them pictures on Instagram. You look great on them Facebook statuses, right? It looks wonderful, right? So are you nurturing that, or and if you have children, right, or set energy, are you nurturing that type of care for you someone else? Most importantly, that care for yourself. But do you care for other people, right? Are you manipulative? Are you a schemer? Are you a scammer, right? Right? Are you a person who has a poverty mindset? Are you a person who thinks all rich people are evil? These are things that you have to get out of and transmute. So these deities will help you to process and nurture your emotions, your energy emotions, and heal the chakras, which is tied to your endocrine system, which is also tied to your circulatory system. Aquarius, which is what we're entering the age of, Aquarius rules the blood, right? Aquarius rules the blood, Pisces rules the feet, right? And Virgo rules the intestines. So this is what you're digesting on a day-to-day basis, not just food wise, but your food for thought. So these three feminine deities all tie into that Virgo virgin energy, right? And if you look at some images of Kuan Yin, you'll see her just like the Black Madonna and Child, or Set and Heru, or Isis and Horus, with nurturing the will, right? And this is all about nurturing your will power. Your willpower is your ability to see beyond the human, see beyond the physical realm, see beyond what so and so told you or what so and so's opinion is, right? And really have your own opinion and really have your own ideas, really be on your own wave, really be on your own vibe, really be about being unique and bringing your unique talents to the world. That's what a mother's going to nurture you in, right? If you look at like Donda West and what she was doing with Kanye, right? She nurtured Kanye, whether you like him or not, to be his unique self, to be his true self, to live his dreams, to not live what anybody's saying. That's why you see Kanye rocking the MAGA hat, right? He may not care or anything. That's why he'd be like, yo, I don't care about politics and nothing like that. Kanye saying, I'm going to do it because y'all telling me I can't do it. You don't got the answer, Sway, all right? When they were talking to him about selling clothes, right? Turns out he was right. Sway didn't have the answers. Once he got with Adidas, now we got shot from Adidas. Now he's selling his own things and still making millions of dollars because he was nurtured to be great. A lot of parents, especially mothers and fathers, well, that's all parents are, mothers and fathers, they teach their children to be what they want them to be, what they think the child should be. And it's about what the child wants to be. It's about what the child's purpose is. You, as a parent, are literally just a guide. You're there to guide and protect and provide. Guide, protect, and provide. But your child has their own purpose. Your child is not your legacy. You leave your legacy here on the planet. You. Your child is not your legacy. For instance, Elijah Muhammad left his own legacy for the Nation of Islam, whether you like it or not. His Elijah Muhammad's legacy is cemented. He'll be talked about till the end of time. Not his son. His son effectively destroyed a lot of the businesses that the Nation of Islam had by converting it to regular secular Islam. Nation of Islam's had businesses in every major city in America. Not when his son came, I forgot his son's name, but not when his son took over. Once his son took over, all them businesses went into traditional Islam. To this day, in New York, some of those business places are owned by Muslims to this day. Muslims that look nothing like me and you, or melanated people. So you leave your own legacy. Your children are not your legacy. Your children have their own life to live. So are you nurturing and caring and developing their legacy? Even as it changes, even as it switches up, which happens with children. Sometimes they want to be a scientist. Sometimes they want to be a baseball player. Sometimes they want to be a video game, create characters for video games, right? Sometimes they don't want to do none of that shit. And you got to guide them into something. That's what parenting is about. It's not easy. Not easy being a mother. So shout out to the single mothers out there who do their best with what they have and what they can. We want to honor them today as well. If you know a single mother, and one of the other things you could do today, if you don't have an altar, you don't have nothing like that, even if you do, and you're going to do a ritual, right, to these goddesses to gain wisdom, gain insight, right, to be on a different vibe. This is the last full moon of the astrological year. The next new moon, right, we will be going, well, the next full moon will be in spring, which was the real new year. So this is a time to get organized. This is a time to write things down. This is a time to clean the home. This is a time to, whatever New Year's resolution you had in January, if you fell off, to get back on before the spring. You still have time. You still have a solid 21 days, because the spring equinox, which is officially spring, is not until March 21st. Even if you want to do something, you're a guy, you want to do semen retention. I've been on semen retention, and I've been experienced, such and such with women, but I've been on semen retention since the 21st of December. It's not easy, right? I haven't smoked weed since the 21st of December. It's not easy. There's days where I want to smoke. You know what I'm saying? There's days where I want to, release. But this is one of the things that I want to do to enhance my powers and my abilities going into the summer, right? The goal is to make this the best summer ever. Kuya said, dang, bro, yeah. And I'm a Scorpio. So trust me, my semen retention game is hard. It's difficult. Trust me, as a Scorpio, right? I'm like almost 70 days in at this point. I'm not saying that, and even with women, right? I gotta retain it. This is just part of the journey, though. You know what I'm saying? This is part of that Mamba mentality. This is me embracing that Kobe mindset, right? And there's nothing that you can't do. I'm just sharing it with you. There's nothing that you can't do. I'm no better than none of y'all. I came from the same streets, If you came from the non-streets, I've been there too, right? Amongst the wealthy, I've been there too. So these are things that we all have the ability to do. We all have the ability to sharpen up. We all have the ability to grow and develop. But it's up to us to see if that is what we really want to do. But a good ritual this weekend, these next 3 days, if you see a woman destitute, give her $1 or so. If you could afford it, obviously, right? If you don't have a pot to piss in, right? That's different. But if you could afford it, give a homeless woman a couple dollars, man. Or give a woman in your family that needs it. Not just give it to, somebody who don't need it, but somebody who needs it. Give them $1, a couple dollars. Throw a couple dollars at them. You know what I'm saying? And show some love, but especially a woman that looks destitute. And if she's wearing the color blue, forget it. You better give her some money. That's an offering, right? That's an offering. If you're doing any type of ritual, this is a hack, spiritual hack. If you've been doing any type of ritual and you see somebody that's destitute, quote unquote, a bum, right? not, I don't like to use the word bum, but let's say homeless or something like that, and you see them around and you've been doing rituals to certain deities, man, you better give them some money. You better give them something, some money, some food, something, because that's basically a representation of your spiritual work coming to pass. And I want to share this because this is the mentality we want to have going into the real new year, right? We want to have this mentality going into the real new year, which is coming up soon. Spring is here. Spring is coming. All right.
If we understand we are designed to succeed, to be victorious, to be masters of our own destiny, then we know what the body is designed to do. We're designed to win. See? That's our nature, is to succeed. But if we get the wrong information and no self-knowledge, then we learn how to fail. Okay? So we're unlearning failure. I think I mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. Winning is a habit. Failing is a habit. Which one do you want? We choose, we decide at whatever point we're affected if we're going to think like a winner or think like a failure. And it's our decision no matter who has impacted us, because we can change our mind, attitude, and consciousness by thinking, and thinking makes it so. Okay? Very important. Thinking makes it so. If we understand we are designed to succeed, to be victorious, to be masters of our own destiny, then we know what the body is designed to do. We're designed to win. See? That's our nature, is to succeed. But if we get the wrong information and no self-knowledge, then we learn how to fail. Okay? So we're unlearning failure. I think I mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. Winning is a habit. Failing is a habit. Which one do you want? We choose, we decide at whatever point we're affected if we're going to think like a winner or think like a failure. And it's our decision no matter who has impacted us, because we can change our mind, attitude, and consciousness by thinking, and thinking makes it so.
Oh, so yeah, I want to say this while I listen to C. Freeman out. Spirit was telling me to tell y'all this. Semen retention, I have been using a condom though. I can't say if I was going raw, I would be able to be strong enough to hold it back, right? While having sex with a woman, right? If you're in like, I'm not in a committed relationship right now, but if you're in a committed relationship, that's different, right? But, and even in a committed relationship, right? If I would recommend, the book I would recommend is The Multi-Orgasmic Man by Montauk Chia. The Multi-Orgasmic Man by Montauk Chia. And he talks about how to breathe while are about to orgasm so that you can hold it, right? And circulate it from the back to the spine. Now you're gonna have to stop the pumping and motion, right? So that you can circulate that energy, goes up the spine. You'll feel it too. You'll feel it go up the brain, up the back of the spine, up into the brain, and you'll feel it come back down to the chest. And you can recirculate it as much times as your partner lets you just chill, right? And you can circulate that energy. So it's a powerful tool for manifestation too as well. So these are the things you could do. These are the ways you could tap in. I don't know if any speaks. Let me shout out to Organized Chaos, Stray Panther, Ultra Instinct, Cooley High. Anyone has any questions? Any comments? Hit that like button too if you want to donate the channel and you choice the channel and you feel like I gave you any value. You can hit the donate button. You can hit the Cash App button. I do appreciate it. I do have a daughter and she likes to eat. nicely. And so does her dad, But besides that, hitting the like button is just as good. And seeing you guys rise into your spiritual power is, a great reward. But take time to learn how to really tap in. And tapping in is not watching YouTube videos. Tapping in is silence. Tapping in is solitude. Uh, I'm going to take a walk through nature today myself and tap into that divine feminine energy, right? And think about some things I have going on, visualize myself for the summer, spring and summer, and the things I want to manifest. And yeah, I've already did my writing, wrote down some things that I just want to see and put down that I want to manifest over the next 5 years. What is your 5 year plan? This is Virgo shit. Like, what is your 5 year plan? What is the next 5 years? And even if you can't go to 5 years, like go to 2025. Like, what does 2025 look like for you? And what do you need to get rid of? Who do you need to get rid of? What habits do you need to change? What type of conversations do you need to have? What conversations do you need to avoid? What type of things do you need to consume? What type of food do you need to consume, right? Do you need to start getting back into the gym? Do you need to start working out? Do you need a new fitness regimen, right? Summer's coming, it's right around the corner. And nobody wants to look, flabby and like Larry Holmes, flabby and sick, right? So, but again, I could give you the play, right? I could coach you on the play, but it's up to you to run the ball, right? I'm only a guy. I'm only a coach, right? And I can only tell you what I've done is to be successful, which I always will do. If I ain't doing it and it ain't work, I ain't going to share it with you. I don't care what book it's in. And this is the full moon in Virgo, y'all. Again, and again, it's about Kobe year, Mamba mentality, right? Doing what it takes, right? Avoiding distractions, focusing on what makes you a better you, right? I finally finished Dune yesterday. Only reason I watched Dune was because I wanted to watch. I wanted to watch Dune next because I'm going to see Dune 2 next week. And I finally watched because I fell asleep the first couple of times, so I decided to watch it. And really, it's very hard for me to sit down and just watch movies, and watch shows, because there's just so much I'm trying to do and create and learn and courses and stuff like that. But yeah, enough about me. I want you guys to win, and I hope you do. I don't see any questions, any comments, so I'm going to say peace, power, and prosperity. Hit that like button. I love y'all. Take care. Enjoy the weekend. I will see y'all again tomorrow. All right. I'm going live again tomorrow. I already got everything queued up. So I'm definitely going live unless something crazy happens, but I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow. Peace. And stay as sucker free as possible.